Hi, this is Michael Hurst. Welcome back once again to another video segment from fecaltransplant.org. In 2011, I cured myself of ulcerative colitis after 12 years of illness that brought me to the brink of surgery. A common question I've gotten a couple of times is, why do I need to do this? Why do I need to completely repopulate the bacteria of my colon using poop from another person? Sounds kind of like a radical concept, right? Why can't I just use antibiotics to kill off the bad bacteria, or probiotics from, say, yogurt to basically introduce good bacteria? Well, here are the problems with that. First, the problem with antibiotics is that they may have contributed to ulcerative colitis in the first place. They've been known to cause colitis associated with Clostridium difficile bacteria, which you may have heard of frequently. These infections oftentimes occur after antibiotics have been used to treat another illness. And so the problem is, when antibiotics are used for bacteria in the colon, oftentimes they are non-selective. They basically kill off the good with the bad bacteria. This may kill off most of the bad bacteria, or maybe even all of it, but it also leaves the colon vulnerable to future bacteria because there are not enough good bacteria taking up space in the neighborhood of the colon for to crowd out the bad bacteria and prevent them from taking over. So this is one problem with antibiotics. However, antibiotics did help me get over a colitis flare, my initial colitis flare back in 1999. Also, why can't you use yogurt-based probiotics? Well, you can, and there are some products such as VSL number 3, which is pharmaceutical-grade probiotics in very, very high quantities. In fact, it's about 500 billion per packet. 500 billion colony-forming units of bacteria. Here's the problem with this, though. Most strains of bacteria that you'll find cultured from yogurt are not native to the colon. So what does this mean? If you don't keep consuming yogurt or other probiotics, then the benefit goes away. In fact, those still might not be enough unless you take them in very, very high quantities on a regular basis, because there might be other strains of bacteria that are simply not resistant to these bacteria. So what is the solution? Well, the fecal transplant, or if you prefer the term, human probiotic infusion, or fecal microbiota transplant. Basically what you're doing is bringing in a whole new colony of bacteria that symbiotically kind of work together, if you will. As these bacteria work together, they form a colony which leaves no space for inflammation-causing bacteria to grow and flourish. And that is your best defense in the long run. And since it's self-sustaining, once you have that new colony established, you won't have to continue to eat billions or trillions of yogurt bacteria per day, or take antibiotics that introduce you to other infections throughout the body. And that is my answer to that question. For more information, go to my website, fecaltransplant.org, and also look at my book, Ulcerative Colitis, Fecal Transplant Cures Ulcerative Colitis. Still working on that title there. Thank you very much, and have a good day.